Namaskar students, welcome back to another lecture in this series. So we are studying magnetic field in matter. So in this series of lectures I have started with the very basics that if you have a material, so we know that material is composed of atoms. An atom is composed of nucleus and electron. Electrons are revolving around the nucleus and electron is spinning its own axis of the nucleus. So there are two current, means there are two type of magnetic dipoles are there. One because of the electron spin, because I have solved several problems based on the magnetic dipole moment due to a rotating spinning sphere, and then we know that because of the electron revolution around the nucleus, that is giving a circular current. So we know that circular current also behave like a magnetic dipole. So these two currents gives the magnetic property in material. So basically paramagnetic property and diamagnetic property. Diamagnetic property was due to this orbital current, and paramagnetic was because of the spin of the electrons. Okay, so in case of so in this lecture we will try to learn a new topic of your syllabus, that is magnetic susceptibility and permeability. So we know that in paramagnetic and diamagnetic materials, the magnetization is sustained by a magnetic field. Okay, B. When this B, if you remove this B, then what will happen? The magnetization will also disappear. And there are several experiments has been carried out by different researchers, and experimentally it has been found that this magnetization vector M is directly proportional to the applied magnetic field vector H. Okay, so if you remove the proportionality constant, remember this is not B, please don't confuse with the B vector and H vector. Here this magnetic field vector M is directly proportional to the applied magnetic field vector H. Okay, this is experimentally observed. So this is external applied magnetic field. Okay, so this, if you remove the proportionality constant, so there will be a, if you remove the proportional, so there will be a proportionality constant. This constant is known as basically, that is denoted as chi m, and this is known as the magnetic susceptibility of material. Okay, and this magnetic susceptibility, this is basically a dimensionless quantity. This is a dimensionless quantity because M and H both have the same dimension, and this magnetic susceptibility is different for different materials. Means this value of chi, that is varies from one material to another material. And this formula what I have written, that is M is directly proportional to H, M is equal to chi M H, that is valid for the linear medium. Means when magnetic material is linear, basically for the case of paramagnetic and diamagnetic material. Okay, there is another class of material is there, that is known as the ferromagnetic material. So those materials are not basically linear, so in that case this, maybe this is not valid. Okay, but I am not going into the detail because I will discuss the paramagnetic material and hysteresis loop in a separate lecture. Based on this value of chi m, one can define, one can differentiate whether the magnetic material what we have, that is a diamagnetic material or paramagnetic material. If you do the magnetic measurement and you apply the magnetic field and you measure the M, and then if you take the ratio of M and H, so that is giving the chi. So if the value of chi M, that is positive, means that is greater than 0 and have some positive value, that means that reflects that whatever material you have, that material is a paramagnetic material. and the value of chi m, magnetic susceptibility, this is normally of the order of 10 to power minus 5, 10 to power minus 6, 10 to power minus 4, that depend upon the material to material, but it is average, if you find out, that is of the order of 10 to power minus 5. Okay, but it should be positive. But if the value of chi m, that is less than 0, means that is negative, then that particular material is a diamagnetic material, means that material behave like a diamagnets. And obviously, and this value of chi m, that will be of the order of 10 to the power minus 5, that is order of this chi m for in both, for diamagnetic and paramagnetic, that is same. But the difference is only that for the case of paramagnets, this chi m will be positive, and for the case of diamagnets, this chi m will be negative. That is only the difference. And as I have discussed in the introductory part, that this paramagnetic property of the material originates because of the spin of the alignment, because in those material which have a odd number of electron in their outer orbit, so that will give the spin magnetic moments because of the spin of the electron. Okay, and that gives the paramagnetic nature of the material. And similarly, the diamagnetic property comes because of the orbital current. In case of diamagnetic material, when you apply the magnetic field, so what happens? The direction of the current that changes opposite to the direction of magnetic field. So that is why in case of diamagnetic material, if you measure the chi, that will be negative. In case of paramagnetic material, if you measure the chi m, that is positive. Order of this chi m, that will be quite similar, and it depend upon the material to material. And as I have mentioned, in ferromagnets, obviously this magnetization M is not exactly proportional to S. So for that, because that it means that ferromagnetic material is not a linear medium, so that is a non-linear medium, and that is why it is not non-linear medium, means ferromagnetic material is a non-linear medium. That is why you get some hysteresis loop when you plot M versus H. So you don't get a straight line, you get something different loop. But if you plot here M versus H curve, the obviously if paramagnetic material is there, so you will get a straight line. Okay, so if paramagnetic material is there, if you plot, let us say that is H. Okay, so this is, let us say, H, and this is M. So if you plot a graph between M versus H, so for the case of paramagnetic material, you will get a positive straight line with slope chi m, and obviously the slope of this chi m, that will be positive, so that means that is paramagnetic material. Now if you have a diamagnetic material, so if you plot means graph between M and H, so the slope should be negative. So if you do that, if you do the experiment, then you plot, then you will get a straight line, but the slope of the straight line, that will be negative, that is this kind. So this kind of material is known as the diamagnetic material. Okay, but in the case of ferromagnetic material, if you measure the magnetization with field, then there will be no straight line, means that medium is not, that is why this is called as the diamagnetic material, and paramagnetic material are called as a linear medium. But for the case of ferromagnetic material, the medium is not linear. That means you will not get a linear loop. Rather than a linear loop, you will get some complicated loop, and that loop is known as the hysteresis loop. And that lecture I will cover, I will give in next lecture. Okay. So in case of ferromagnetic, that is chi m is also not constant, that means changes. So now in my previous lecture, I have developed a relation between magnetic field vector B, field vector H, and magnetization vector M. So we know that magnetic field vector B, that can be written as a mu 0 in bracket H plus M, where H vector and plus M vector. Okay. So if you see here, so we know that experimentally that capital M vector can be written as a chi m into H vector. It means this magnetic field vector B, this can be written as a mu 0 plus h vector plus m vector. In place of m vector we can write chi m plus h vector. So we can write this here, if you see h vector is common, so we can write B vector is equal to mu 0 in bracket 1 plus chi m h vector. Okay. Now I will define a new quantity here, that is mu 0 in bracket 1 plus chi m. So this is a new quantity that is equal to mu. Okay, that is a mu, and this mu is known as the permeability of the material. Permeability of the material means this material, how much magnetic field is allowed to pass through the material. So that is basically known as the permeability of the material. And therefore this B vector can be written as a B vector for a material that can be written as a mu into S vector. Okay. So for any magnetic material, for a free space, we know, I have earlier used, for a free space we know this B vector can be written as a mu 0 plus h, okay, and plus m vector. This is for free space, I have written here. But for magnetic material, now we got a new definition that B vector is equal to, in place of mu 0, instead of mu 0 we have mu into h vector, or we can say that this magnetic field vector B vector, that is directly proportional to h vector, where this h vector, let us say we can say this external magnetic field. So this is B vector of a magnetic material that is directly proportional to the applied external magnetic field h vector. Okay, so I have defined this mu, that is the permeability of the material. Okay, and we know this permeability of the material, that is mu 0 1 plus chi m. And for vacuum, if there is no medium, let us say, we know this chi m is equal to 0. If chi m becomes equal to 0, that means mu 0 becomes equal to mu. Na? So this mu, if chi m equal to 0, so mu becomes equal to mu 0, and that is basically mu 0 is, we know, that is permeability of the vacuum, or permeability of the free space. Okay. Now I will introduce a new quantity again. We know that I have defined that mu is equal to mu 0 1 plus chi m. If we take the ratio of mu upon mu 0, means if the take ratio of mu and mu 0, that is mu upon mu 0, that is defined as a new quantity, and this new quantity is equal to 1 upon chi m, and this 1 upon chi m is equal to, that is mu r, and this is defined as a relative permeability of that particular material, means relative permeability with respect to vacuum. Here this mu is permeability and mu 0 is the permeability of free space, permeability of medium. So this is relative permeability of that particular material. Okay. And again this relative permeability, that is again depend upon the permeability of the material. Now I will try to find out this surface bound current density and volume bound current density in terms of this chi m magnetic susceptibility. So we know that surface bound current density vector K, Kb, that is equal to capital M vector cross product with normal unit vector. Okay, and we know in previous page I have defined that M was directly proportional to H. It means capital M vector that can be written as chi m into H vector. This means we can define for a magnetic material the surface bound current density, this Kb vector can be written as chi m into H vector cross product with n unit vector. So this is important equation. Okay, so this is important equation. So surface bound current density within a medium, that is magnetic material, can be written as a chi m in bracket H vector cross product with n vector. Earlier I have defined this surface bound current density in terms of magnetization. Now here I have defined surface bound current density in terms of H vector. This is important. Okay, why this I am saying important? Because Here the surface bound current density is defined in terms of H vector. Only remember what is difference. In place of M you have H vector, and along with the chi m, that is magnetic susceptibility of that particular material, that medium where we are defining the surface bound current density. Okay. Now if we try to define volume bound current density, so we know that volume bound current density, that is we have defined for a matter, that is JB is equal to del cross M, where M is the magnetization. Okay. And M vector we have defined that M vector is equal to magnetic susceptibility of material multiplied by the external applied magnetic field, that H vector. It means JB can be defined now in new way, that JB can be written as chi m into del cross H. Okay. So this is again a very important equation we got. So this is again a very important equation, that volume bound current density, that can be written as a chi m into del cross H. Here this volume bound current density was in terms of magnetization vector M. Here this volume bound current density, that is in terms of magnetic field vector H, that is external magnetic field vector H vector. Okay. Now we know from the Ampere's line matter, the del cross H already we have derived, that is equal to JF, that is free current density or conduction, what we have called conduction current. Conduction current or free current, both are the same. So del cross H is equal to conduction current or free current. So it means this volume bound current density, if we write here, if you substitute the value of del cross H, so that will be equal to JB vector can be written as a, that is chi m into JC, means chi m into JC. Okay. That means if you write this volume bound current density is directly proportional to conduction current or free current for any homogeneous linear material. That means that this is very important result. This shows that whatever bound if you apply external magnetic field in a magnetic material, so whatever bound current you are observing, that bound current will be obviously proportional to the how much free current, how much conduction current is flowing within the material. Okay. So this bound current is equal to chi m, that is magnetic susceptibility of that particular material multiplied by the total conduction current or total free current within the material. Okay. So this is only valid for the homogeneous linear material. So this is for diamagnetic and paramagnetic material. For ferromagnetic we know that is non-linear medium, so we cannot apply the same things. So thanking you very much for listening this lecture. If you have any doubt, any suggestions, any comment, please feel free to write on my YouTube channel. This lecture is prepared from this reference book, that is David J. Griffith. Thanking you very much for listening. Thanks a lot.